Hi, welcome to Numerical Methods. Today we're going to cover the fundamentals of creating plots in MATLAB. If you're familiar with Excel, creating MATLAB plots should be quite similar. For a two-dimensional plot, you need two vectors of the same size. The number of elements must match so you can represent the x and y coordinates of the points in the plot. Last time we covered how to create a script. We're going to be plotting everything instead of the command window on an M file. So go ahead and start a new script. In order for you to run your script, you need to be able to save it. So we'll start by plotting something easy. So let's go ahead and type plot 1, 1.5, and that's the coordinate of our point. And in this case, we want our point to be an O or a circle. Well, we're going to go ahead and close this command and then use a semicolon. So when I hit run, I can go ahead and save my M file onto my external drive. Notice how I have my numerical methods folder here. Since I'm working on Lab 2, I can title it Lab 2 Video. I'm going to go ahead and save, and I should be able to run this file. In this case, I'm going to create an add to path. Notice how now I have my figure. Essentially what we're looking at when we type the plot command, so the first value is going to be our x, then the 1.5 is going to be our y, and the last value inputs or defines the plot color, pattern for lines, and markers. Since we entered x and y to be scalars, we only get a single point. Now eventually we should be able to input vector arrays so that we can get a full complete line. The apostrophe mark that you see here expresses a text string. So text are expressed with single quotations, and that's how we were able to get this O in the middle. If we wanted to learn more about different specifications in plots, we can always type doc line specifications in the command window, and that should bring up the help center with all the different line specifications that you can bring up or categorize. Now, you don't always have to use the command window documentation. You can always click on the search icon over here in the corner. So let's go ahead and try changing the color of our plot. In this case, I'm going to create a red asterisk. So I'll type apostrophe R star, which is my asterisk symbol. In this case, my location I'm going to change to 2, 2. So when I run this, I made a mistake and forgot my apostrophe. Let me go ahead and plug it in, and that needs to be a semicolon. So when I run this, I open up my figure. Notice how I have a red asterisk and 2, 2. What happened to the circle marker that we had in plot 1? So what happens is the second command overrides the first one. So if we wanted to keep everything, we need to hold it instead of wiping it. So what we do is we can type initially, and that'll allow us to keep everything in our file. There's the circle and there's the red asterisk. Now we're able to see both of them. We can always remove this hold by typing hold off, and that will override any files that we have. So if we recall, notice how we have the red asterisk and the circle here. Now what I want to do is I want to make it look nicer. So I want to change my axes to something that is nice to use. In this case, I'm going to type in axis, and I'm going to specify what I want my axis to be. So when I run my figure, now I can see my dot and my asterisk and something that is reasonable. and something that is visible. So for a two-dimensional plot, we can specify the minimum x value, the maximum x value, the minimum y value, and the maximum x. In this case, notice how the 2 lands right there. So I can always change this to be 3, and if I run this again, my plot should look even nicer. Because now I have a maximum x value at a 3. It's important to know how to comment in a MATLAB window. So take for example this axis command that we had. If I wanted to remember what exactly I was typing, I could use my %, and this would comment my values. So this would specify x minimum, my x maximum, my y minimum, and my y maximum. So in this case, if I wanted to write my name, you could always write % laboratory video 2, and then you can write your name. A couple of new things that we want to learn. Say I wanted to put a grid on my plot. So let's go ahead and type grid on before we type our command. And then along with that, I want to be able to assign titles. So I'm going to create a title for my plot, and this is going to be plot exercise 1. Once again, because I'm creating a string, I'm using my single quotations. So let's go ahead and run this. And now we have a grid and a title. I'm going to go ahead and close this once again. And what I want to do is I want to assign a label in my horizontal axis and in my vertical axis. So I'm going to come back to my script file and type in X label. And that's going to allow me to type in my horizontal axis title. And then in the same line, I can create another command and call it Y label. Now if you want to, you could have created a brand new line. It's up to you. So in this case, my Y label is going to be a vertical. And so this applies labels on axes. I'm going to go ahead and run this. Before I do that, I don't want to forget my semicolon. So let's go ahead and run it. And now I have the title vertical and horizontal in each of these axes. Now, notice how MATLAB has a figure title up here in the corner. If I want to create a new figure, I can always create figure 2. This when I hit run, you're going to notice that you have figure 1 and figure 2, which is completely blank. Now, in the same manner, you can close this figure by typing close 2. When I run, you're going to notice that the only thing that you have open down here in the bottom is figure 1 because you've closed figure 2. Now, I'm not going to close figure 2 because I actually want to create a new plot. So here, I'm going to create a plot. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to title it figure 2, and then I'm going to type t is equal to 0 in increments of 0.1 to 10. From 0 to 10 in increments of 0.1. And now I've created an array which I will call time from 0 to 10 in increments of 0.1. Then I'm going to create a sign function as an array, another vector array, where I'm going to take my t and multiply it times 3 and take the sign of it. Then what I will do is I'm going to take the exponent of negative t to the 5th power. The last thing that I will do is actually plot this array. So I'm going to plot from T to Y. When I hit run, this is what I will see. In figure 2, notice how figure 1 still has my star or my asterisk and my dot. The M here represents magenta and how I want to create my line. In this case, I can type R, and that's going to create a red line in figure 2. So I'm going to close my plots and leave my magenta color on. And when we hit run, you're going to notice that you have two figures open. Now we can also create legends for both of these, or even combine them. So I can combine both of these figures by creating one figure. So how do I do that? Remember how we're holding everything that we type. If I comment out my figure 2, when I hit run, I'm going to create one figure, and it's only going to show me whatever's visible with the axes that I've chosen. I'm going to go ahead and keep my two figures running. So I close my figure and I run it again. And what I want to do is I want to edit my figure 2. Add once again a title and then a vertical and horizontal label. Along with that, in figure 1, I want to create a legend. So let's start by doing that, and then I'm going to let you guys edit figure 2 by adding horizontal and vertical and a title of plot exercise 2. So let me show you how to create a legend. I can add an additional line right here after plot 1 and then create a legend. And this legend is going to have asterisk and circle, since that's exactly what we have graphed. Go ahead and click run. We go back to our figures. You're going to notice that now you have a legend with an asterisk and a circle. You're going to notice that these are backwards, and the reason why they're backwards is because they're following the order here. So what we want to do is we actually want to put circle first, and then we want to type asterisk. So I'm going to go back and close my windows and then run once again. So now this should match. You can try recreating figure 2. As figure 3. In this case, this is another way to plot your t and your y values. So you can type b caret, and so now you'll have 3 figures. This is going to be your figure 3. Your figure 2 is your dan. And so you can try different means or different methods of plotting this. Go ahead and finish by editing your figure 2 and your figure 3 so that you can have grids, a title, an X label, and a Y label. When you're done, publish your file by going to the Publish tab and publish your file so that you can submit. So go to Publish, Edit Publishing Options. In our case, we don't want to publish it as an HTML file. We want to publish it as a PDF. So let's go ahead and click PDF here so that we can save it as a PDF file. Under File, Output File Format, go ahead and click PDF and then click Publish. You can see that you have a PDF file already on your USB drive. If it makes you feel better, you can save it and then upload it onto your Blackboard account.